Okay, I'm gonna try not to ramble during this video. But we have some stuff we need to go over.
Wherefore art thou watching Shakespeare Jones?
Hello, it's me again, Shakespeare Jones. Your favorite, perhaps. So, some things have happened recently, that I wanted to sit down and lay out. Considering there was a video created that was accusing me of not only being racist, but of being a white supremacist terrorist. These are baseless claims, number one, but I wanted to get into the exact history of everything that's going on and just make a little bit of a response, because it's one thing to make baseless claims, but it's another thing entirely to make a video doxing my email address, number one, and calling me a liar. And those are things that are not okay with me. So let's get into it. One thing, just to kind of preface all of this, I do want to say that this person, I do believe has some serious mental issues going on. I may get into that a little bit more later on in the video. So I do try and approach this from a place of understanding, and trying to be empathetic with maybe some of the trauma that they've dealt with that is coming out in this way. But one thing that's really important to remember for me, because I wasn't sure if I should make this video, the main thing that's important for me is that even if this is a response to past trauma, that doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it appropriate. And I want anyone who watches this video to know that it is not okay behavior, and I will not stand up for it. Okay, let's get into it. So back in 2017, a man named Terrell Q Rogers commented on one of my tweets. On Twitter, I do state that I'm a playwright. I was still in college, and I was a pretty naive playwright at that point. So he had replied to a tweet I had made saying that he'd be interested in collabing and if I would give him my email. I thought this sounded reasonable, so I sent him a DM on Twitter with my email address. That's when things got a little bit weird. So keep in mind, I have not hardly interacted with this person. So I sent him a DM saying, yeah, here's my email address. If you would like to collab, send me an email. And he immediately asks for my cell phone number, which is, as a woman who has been on the internet for many years, that is a red flag. That's a big creeper red flag. You do not give your personal information out to strangers on the internet. It was risky enough for me to send my email address to this person. This comes up later in the video that he made, so that's why I bring this up now. Long story short, let's start there. 2017, I gave this person my email address. They started insisting that I call them, which I expressed that I was not comfortable with. They ignored this, gave some reason as to why they asked for a phone number. I was on a study abroad at the time. I didn't email him back for 3 days, and he sent me an email insulting me, telling me that I was very inconsiderate and rude for not responding in that time, which I was not okay with. Number one, which is another red flag if you ask me. And so I expressed this. I was like, please don't insult me, right? So I didn't respond back. I was like, okay, whatever. That was a weird experience. We're going to ignore it. We're not going to go back to it. Fast forward to 2021, I'm streaming, I'm doing the stream thing. Someone hops into my stream chat saying, oh, hey, I recognize you from videos that you made years and years ago. Do you still do those kind of videos? We start chatting. It's kind of weird because in every chat that he sends, he tags me in it, which is not typical Twitch etiquette. I kind of brushed it off though, whatever. Some people have their own things they like to do. They ask me if I'd like to collab. I say, sure. Send, here's my Twitter, whatever, send me a tweet. At one point, they mentioned that they were going to send a tweet to all their friends inviting them to the stream, which is awesome. That's great. I love the support. I need the extra help. Whatever. Great. I finished the stream, and when I check that tweet, it is tagging about 12 to 15 different famous actors and directors, which is, a red flag. Like, clearly this person with 40 followers on their Twitter is not personal friends with all of these very famous artistic types. It was at this time in the back of my head that I was starting to remember this 2017 occurrence that had happened. I was afraid that it was going to be the same person and I was going to have to start dealing with some of the same bullshit. Obviously, that was correct. When I checked the DM they sent me, they were like, "Oh, I didn't think that I had messaged you before, blah, blah, blah." Like, he had apparently completely forgotten whatever happened in 2017. I had not. I still had that weird feeling that I had back then, that had creeped back in immediately. This person was now wanting me to video call with them. And I started talking myself out of this weird feeling that I had, maybe it'll be fine. This could be a good connection. I should just do it, whatever. So I kind of went along with it, but then I read the emails again where he wanted me to call him, and when I didn't respond for a couple days, he called me inconsiderate and rude. And I was like, I didn't feel great about that. Then I Googled him. I found all of the past examples of his delusions and his harassment of women on the internet. And that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to try and be as polite as possible. I'm going to not video call with this person. And so I said, hey, I'm really busy. I don't think I should. I'm going to video call. I'm really sorry. I hope you understand. Whatever. He continues to message me. He continues to invite me to video call. So I try and be a little more firm. At that point, I decide to soft block him, where I mute him. I removed him from my Twitch following so he wouldn't get notifications. Hopefully, he could just kind of forget about me and move on. This is not what happened. As soon as he noticed that I had removed him off of my followers list, he flipped out, decided that I was a racist. Like, the reason that I had done these things was not because I was uncomfortable, was not because of the things I had found out, but because I was racist. Obviously there's no evidence to that. He started calling me out. He started doing all of these things. He sent me a couple of emails that were like, "Now everyone knows that you're a racist." This is when things started occurring. He sent out this tweet being like, "Shakespeare Jones is a racist." And obviously I have some good friends who I'm very lucky to have in my life who kind of helped jump to my defense. They jumped to my defense because I had shared those DMs with them. I had shared everything that I had learned, and perhaps a bit biased, but they did agree with me. They jumped to my defense at that point. But because they agreed with me and disagreed with him, that of course made them automatically racist as well. And not only racist, white supremacist. With their help, I started discovering more and more people that he was doing this to on Twitter specifically. There were several people who they didn't respond to him because for most people, you don't respond to random people on the internet as a safety precaution. And when they did that, they too were called racist and white supremacist. And this was clearly a pattern of bad behavior that was happening. This did culminate in one of the people that he had tagged in lots of his tweets. Like I had mentioned before, he tagged 12 to 15 famous actors and directors in not only that tweet, but almost every tweet that he sends. I can show you an example of this. You might see that I have him blocked, but he doesn't have me blocked, so I can still view everything. So you can see, here, James Gunn. If you hover over, most of these are going to be like verified Twitter accounts. Just like random politicians, podcasters. One person he would often tag in these things is a man named Vincent D'Onofrio, which I know him from the wonderful Netflix Daredevil. He plays Kingpin and he does a really good job. But he has this Twitter, and Terrell would tag him in tons and tons of tweets. So Vincent eventually got dragged into this. Vincent actually sent him a DM asking him to stop tagging him, asking him to stop messaging women who didn't want to talk to him. And because he did that, of course, Terrell decided that he too is a white supremacist who must be taken down. Now, obviously, there is no evidence of any of this, right? I personally am a big follower of the Black Lives Matter movement. I recognize that it's not just being not racist, it's actively being anti-racist every single day. And if it was something where like I actively went out of my way to remove Black men who follow me on Twitch or Twitter, and there was proof of that, obviously that would be a horrible sign, right? Like that would not be a good thing to do. This is not the case. There was someone who made me uncomfortable, who had a history of making other women uncomfortable, and I decided to try and protect myself from that. That is my right. I am allowed to protect my own space. I am a human being who does not deserve to have boundaries ignored, right? And that's really the gist of things. Let me get into a couple of the exchanges that occurred. I was considering not including his name or handle in this YouTube video, but I think it's important for other women to be aware of people like this, and therefore I want people to be able to know and to see things. So, okay. Shakespeare Jones is a racist. I'm unfollowing her. I just put everything together. She lives in a racist hotspot of Utah. This is going to come up multiple times. Just because I live in Utah is not evidence that I'm racist. Took me off her Twitch following with no explanation. As I mentioned before, that was my attempt to get him to leave me alone. I get it. She hates Black people. Once again, no evidence. I warned you people I will not be putting up with these racists. Blah, blah, blah. Point, racist / caught in line. 2 characteristics they always share. It's mind-blowing, I tell you. My friend, get a grip, man. Clearly you get off harassing women, and when they don't respond how you want, you get creepy and gross. I will say that when it comes to these particular delusions, I don't personally think that they're sexual. Like, I don't think that if I had ended up video calling him, I don't think that he would have hit on me or like tried to get me to do anything. That doesn't make me less uncomfortable. Just having someone trying to force you to get on a video call is enough to make you uncomfortable in general. But I just thought I would mention that there. Terrell, again, no one is falling for your lies. I don't know. Lies what? Nobody is harassing anyone. It's called calling out their bad behavior. In this case, you and your white supremacists, and then he tags a bunch of people who kind of came to my aid. Oh, they're so good to me. Neither of you 4 don't know me, never met, deuces. Yeah, you showed them. Once again, these are people who had all of the facts. I had shown them everything that happened. It wasn't just me telling them a story without anything to back it up. I let them know everything. Melly, we all know you harassed our friend. We don't need to meet you to know you're an incel, which might have been taking it a little too far. But your race has nothing to do with it. Incel's a bully term. Every town knows you're making up a story. Once again, all of these verified accounts except for Rose, who is, some of us have theories that Rose is like another account of his. I don't know if I believe that, but I guess you can come to your own conclusions. But all of these verified accounts that he says are at my defense. No evidence of that. And obviously, as we'll see later, Vincent is very much not to his defense. Dragon and the Fox, God bless her. I believe she is a follower of Vincent's poetry, which is how she kind of got dragged into all of this. Can someone please stop this guy? Which does happen later. Then this Rose Moonfeather person, who I believe is his friend Anna, is what he told me. I don't think personally that she is an alt of his. I don't think that he has the mental capacity to have an alt account. So I don't know what her deal is. But she kind of comes to his defense. Terrell is just a guy reaching out to make friends by overcoming anxiety to do it. Like I said, that's fine. You have anxiety, totally understandable. But you don't need to make my anxiety worse to make your anxiety better. He literally called my friend a racist just because she wanted to chat with him. That's not okay behavior. Do you have screenshots of the conversation? Because I had a good conversation with him. So what happened? He and I got along wonderfully. I don't think this is something that needs to be said, but obviously just because you have a good interaction with a person does not mean that others do. I might understand this more if it was just me who's had this experience with this particular user, but it's not. There is multiple women who have had this exact same experience to varying degrees. My friend Amelia here, she talks about Darvo, which is pretty much exactly what he's doing, denying the behavior, saying that he wasn't saying he didn't make me uncomfortable, attack the individual doing the confronting, attacking me obviously, then reverse the roles of victim, saying that he's the victim because I was racist when I wasn't. Then he had a couple tweets here that he deleted. And she tried to be like, hey, okay, like, tell me where I lied. What did I lie about? And she's like, tell me precisely what I did. Amelia, number one, she's amazing. She's an incredible debater. And after this, I was like, yeah, I am not going to argue with you. Like, go ahead and tell me precisely what I did that's racist. Go ahead and show me where I lied. You're the one making these claims. You have to back them up. Once again, I don't think that this is someone who has the capacity to back up claims. I really truly think that he is so like neck deep in these delusions that it would take a lot of work for him to be able to get out of them. But he deleted those here, and she went ahead and took some screenshots for us. So she gives him an example of something that someone might say that she's racist for, liking Thanksgiving. And he's like, you gave yourself an L admitting you're a racist. She didn't want to video chat with you, and you call that racism. People setting boundaries isn't racism. I have more evidence to call you a misogynist and a harasser than you do calling us white supremacists. Actually, I called her racist because of her racist behavior, bitch. How about you actually tell me what my racist behavior is instead of just being insane? A racist woman living in a well-known racist state. Like, literally, the only thing he has is that I live in Utah and that I'm white. And treats white people good, but black people poorly. There is no evidence for that. There's no evidence for it. Enough said. Everyone, we have another white supremacist right here. And because she's defending me, she is then, of course, also a white supremacist. Here's another one of the tweets he deleted. Again, you've been caught in a lie. It's over. Take your L. She's like, go ahead, tell me where I lied, because I did not. When a white person attacks someone for being called a racist, racist confirmed. What? That's not how that works. No non-racist white person is going to do that. Okay, how about except when it's non-substantiated and totally baseless? My best friend Anna is white, which is this Rose person that we mentioned before. She's a white, peaceful person. I'm glad that Anna is able to deal with your delusions. I'm glad she's able to put up with your anxiety. Just because someone doesn't want to become your a motion carrier doesn't mean that they're racist, friend. Sorry. Here's an example of someone else who didn't respond to his messages that instantly became a racist. I can't deal with your disrespectful behavior anymore. I don't know why you do it to me, and I've never had problems with you. Last inbox you sent me was July 16th, and I made a comment about you, and you put a heart day, which I know is a form of sarcasm. Goodbye. I do not know what that means. But yeah, this is from December, and it's talking to that same person, calling her a troll or catfish. And then here is just another example of the delusions. A group of racists attacked me on Twitter today, and they got shut down real fast by the masses. I've just showed you this Twitter thread. The only person defending him is his friend Anna, if you'll want to call that a defense. Thank you to those who came to my defense against those terrorists. Very loose definition there, I would imagine. This is just one example of the many conversations that were had over this. Let me show you another woman who he did this to recently. This is one reason why I don't think it's sexual. A lot of the women have been a bunch of various different women. I do think it's interesting that it is only women that he seems to do this to. Well, women and Vincent. But Donna is like 60 and married and very the opposite of me. So I really don't think it's like a sexually based sort of harassment. Basically the exact same thing happened. You posting on your wall and responding to other people's comments but ignoring my posts. That's how you feel about black people. You're a fraud. She says, I'm not ignoring you. You're deflecting. I'm enjoying texting friends. You keep asking me to video chat. Same thing that happened to me. I'm usually busy texting friends. I've tried telling you video/FaceTime are not my thing. Very clearly, he was trying to get her to video chat with her, and she did not want to. Which, as we find, is like, that's how you feel about black people, right? He once again makes it about race and not about her trying to set a boundary that she doesn't want a video call and him respecting that boundary. No, you just proved what these people said. You called me a nobody. I don't think she ever did. That's who you are, a heartless person. Like, these two people said, close friend, once again, Vincent being tagged here. I said, I deserve better. I won't tolerate your racist behaviors anymore. Wow. And this is where she starts to indicate that it's basically the exact same thing that happens with me, right? You inbox me several times a day, sometimes when I'm busy. You seem to be hung up on race. That's like making everything about politics. And she's like, you lie again. We've only had 2 chats. Blah, blah, blah. You ghosted me since you're defensive because you got caught. Once again, it seems like she ghosted him because he was making her uncomfortable. And he refuses to accept that about himself. This is from a separate thread of her describing what happened with someone else who has noticed this repetitive behavior and has been trying to solve it. Some guy kept inboxing me wanting to video chat. Told him I don't do that. He would not take no for an answer. He accused me of avoiding him because he was black. I'm 60 years old and never had anyone pull the race card comment on me. Others told me to block him as he has a record of doing this to others. I was just talking to him one day being nice. A lot of women tend to respond to men in a kind of nice, polite way, even if they are uncomfortable. And he immediately wanted to start video chatting with me. I still don't know how to video chat. And even if I did, this is not what she said. I think I'd want to learn to do it, get comfortable doing it with my daughter before a stranger. So this is just another clear-cut case of him doing the same thing, sending someone messages over and over again, getting angry when they don't respond, and calling them racist. And this just keeps happening over and over and over again. I have seen evidence of him harassing people online that goes back as far as 7 years ago, goes back to all the way to 2012. It does seem that his delusions go far beyond just thinking that people don't want to talk to him because he's black. These delusions go as far as he wrote a sort of fan fiction, it seems, and cast himself in it. It's a Marvel, like Avenger type fan fiction, and he believes that his fan fiction has been referenced in multiple Marvel movies. This is obviously not true. That's not how that works. He has also made several comments about how people have recognized him and wanted his picture and autograph from his non existent fan movie from the script that he created. And social media just seems to be a coping method to keep up his delusions and his current worldview. There are some tweets that have said that he had made fake auditions for this movie to lead actors to an undisclosed location. They said reasons they didn't want to presume, which to me, once again, is like kind of sketchy. I don't know if this person is actually dangerous, and I don't think they are, but I do think they need some serious help. I did find a long blog post written by one of his ex-romantic partners detailing emotional and manipulative abuse, and I think it's really clear that this has been going on for quite some time. I kind of want to get into one of the threads that he wrote before he made the video. So this thread tried to call out multiple of the people who had been bringing some awareness to the harassment that's been going on for quite some time. So he said, I need to call out Dragon and the Fox, who posted phishing scam sites that made lies about me. I saw a lot of Dragon's posts. I never saw links to anything. Just talking about all of the evidence, some of which that I have mentioned, some of which I have not. About all of this prior harassment. She also said something that caught investigators' eyes. Oh, this is something good to note here. Part of his delusions around this event has been that he's been talking to investigators, relatives, and the feds to report these white supremacist terrorists. I obviously do not think that is true at all. I don't think he's talked to any authorities, any feds. I think if he did, they might try and put him into a mental institution of some point at the most, or just laugh him out of their office at the least. That will come up a couple of times. There have been groups known to spread lies that happened to these people. These groups got caught. Dragon and several women I've never met, never interacted with, have been spreading lies about me. Not true. All of these women had evidence to back up their claims. Are they racist? Some of these things I don't know what he's referring to. I can assume that he's referring to me because everything's about me. But I also don't think that's true. Notice the pattern. They're all white. Again, never met them. Don't know them. Like, is he going to say that he's never met me? He doesn't know me. And yet he's going to say that I'm racist? Like, they have far more evidence to prove that he is harassing multiple women than he does to say that I'm racist or that any of these people are racist. I think it's interesting that it doesn't go both ways, right? He can say with very little evidence that all of these people are racist, but all these people, because they don't know him, can't say that he's been doing this despite all of the evidence. Once again, James Gunn, he doesn't fucking know James Gunn. Calm down. Thinking about the deleted tweets, he might have deleted them himself, or they might have been removed from Twitter. That I'm not as sure about. But, karma's coming. I took the tweets down. Okay, he did. And told by my family and investigators to screenshot them. What also caught investigators' attention, none of the false accusers never denied being racist. Like, bitch, if you're going to say that I am something without any goddamn proof, there is no reason for me to come out and be like, oh, I'm gonna try and defend myself. I'm not racist. Blah, blah, blah. No, fuck you. People don't need to know that I'm not racist because of this baseless accusation. People know I'm not racist because of the way that I live my life and the way that I treat other people. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be fucking mean. But it comes down to the point where I have to say, like, you are a moron. You do not have a functioning brain, and you need to get serious help. Because you cannot just make lies about people and expect there not to be consequences. All of this is him reacting to the consequences of his actions. Because not everyone's like me where I just want to, like, forget about it, right? Like, I don't want to call out bad behavior because I know people are going through shit. But this is what happens. Yeah, your friends and family are handed over to the authority. Duh. Yeah, super believable. While some have said it's a horrible misunderstanding on their part, I highly doubt that. I do think this is a reference to me because when I had realized that this was the person I had talked to back in 2017 who had made me uncomfortable back then, I did tell him that it was a misunderstanding, that I stopped messaging him because I didn't want to fucking set off a psychopath by accident. Women have to protect themselves. Women get murdered for being women all the goddamn time. And notice how the person they are targeted is a black man who never talks about them battling trauma and taking care of his family. You talked about me, my dude. Never talks about them. Like, you realize people have friends who do actually come to defend them. You think that you have people defending you, pretend, you make believe that these masses are coming to your aid, but you can't handle it that when other people actually have that. Blah blah blah. There's just one other part that I wanted to bring up. Here is the reason why he didn't block me, apparently. Because that would just be giving me a win. Notice how they blocked me. They did it in order to spread their lives. To be clear, I have not posted about this in like a regular tweet. I have responded to a couple of other messages, but I haven't tried to spread anything about this person until right now because of the fucking video I'm about to show you. I want to get on to his final point in this thread. So he says, that's called ganging up. We ganged up on him. Yet my name is in their mouth. I've actually honestly actively avoided saying his name out loud because I feel like it's the boogeyman. Like if I actually say his name, it's going to make it real. This tweet is just funny to me. If it wasn't a hate crime, they better pray to whatever God they believe in. Wait, so if it wasn't a hate crime, then I gotta pray to whatever God I believe in? I will show no mercy when the feds come for them. Nako Nako, super excited to meet the FBI. So here's the tweet that I want to get into, because I really think this tweet is the root of everything, of the way he treats women, of the way that he avoids responsibility for his actions. I think it all boils down to this. My entire life, I've been abused by women. Physically abused by women as a child, physically and emotionally abused by women as a teen and adult. I'm tired of it. I think this is very obviously the root of his trauma. I truly believe that he is searching for some kind of control, that being able to have these delusions and say that these women are racist towards him and not actually accepting his behavior and why his behavior might be harmful to us. It all comes down to this. He has some deep-rooted psychological trauma that was initiated by women. And through whatever means, that has ended us up here. I actually asked my friend who works with people like this on a regular basis to send me some resources that maybe I could share in this video. And she made me a chart. So let me show you the chart. I hope it's okay. I hope she's not like gonna be embarrassed by this. This is how something like this happens. You have your precipitant, which in this case is being abused by a woman at a young age, potentially a white woman, which leads to these kind of emotions, right? Powerlessness, fear, hurt, neglect, and like she said, a billion other things. There's anomalous experiences, which I'm positive that he has been exposed to racist attitudes, and he has absolutely witnessed terrorist attacks against people of color as an American and as a black man. I'm sure all of that, everything that's happened this past summer, has to be absolutely traumatizing. There might also be biases that he has as a man, which fall over here. Sorry, you can't see it. Let me shrink myself a bit. Like, as a man, he might have the bias that women owe him something, and believing that he is special. You know, he wrote this thing, he's this big writer, he deserves special treatment. And all of these things together, it is what comes to the meaning that he ascribes to these experiences. That meaning being this belief that he is persecuted by individuals based on race, which is probably true. Like, I am sure that he has experienced racism in his life. I would be shocked if he hadn't. But all of these come down to the threat belief that any woman who rejects him and brings about that same feeling of neglect from his childhood and that powerlessness must be a racist terrorist, and he has the responsibility as this special person who's friends with all of these celebrities, who has fans all over the world. It's his responsibility to call them out. To him, this is not harassment. This is justice. Anyways, I think that's fascinating. Okay, love that. So now let's get into the video. So he made a big ass video. He did. He made a 26-minute video. I believe this video is up on Facebook still. I think you can still find it. Essentially, he says, I'm going to show the physical evidence of all of this white supremacist terrorists that have been making false claims against him. So let's dig into this video. I'm gonna be skimming through it, obviously. Like, you all don't have to deal with this whole ass video like I did. But I want to get into what he says and defend myself here.
Okay, so it's me, Terrell Q. As you all know, several white supremacists attacked me on my Twitter page. This is not the first time. We all know.
So note that it was several white supremacists attacked him on Twitter, not that he specifically told a lie about someone, me, and then people defended and told him off for that.
This has happened before, unfortunately. I should have had just posted the physical evidence of the behaviors and everything. Basically, these same white supremacists have been going around saying I'm harassing women. Now I'm going to post the physical evidence that I haven't.
Okay, so to him, this is him posting the physical evidence that he is not harassing women. So this is coming obviously from his point of view, and men who harass women do not think that they are doing anything wrong. To be clear, people in their own mind are always doing the best thing for everyone. Especially someone who is so steeped in delusion like this. I am going to skip around, so let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. Do I recommend this video? No, it's long and boring and dumb.
Another white supremacist. Now, Donna claimed that her and Shell didn't know each other, but they're actually trying to...
So, here you can see he's going into Donna, who I mentioned before, who has pretty much an identical experience as I do.
Be false, they do. And I actually just found it too. Shelty Fox. Shelty Fox asked why I was angry with Donna. Before I could even respond, she blocked me. And this is what she says. I blocked him as he said you were being a racist. So she blocked me because I called her a racist, and she blocked me because I was harassing her. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna log in. So you all can't see my password.
So you can see here that he did in fact send her this long ass message asking to do a video call. To be clear, harassment does, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of this. You can see, look, there's me, right? Oh, duh, my hand disappears. I'm up there. Um, One thing I want to be clear is that harassment doesn't have to be like 50 messages. It can be harassing just to send one message, and especially if that message is making someone uncomfortable. So he says in this message, permission to schedule an art video chat with you one day. I am video chatting with a wellness coach for it later. It will also be our first video chat as well in doing the art exercise. So to him, this comes off as perfectly normal. However, to women, especially on the internet, this comes off as not normal. It is not normal to message someone you don't know requesting to video chat with them. And this is true of anyone. Even people I know, I'm not going to be sending them messages to video chat. And if someone that I knew asked me to video chat with them, that I knew just kind of maybe vaguely as an acquaintance, I would still be weirded out by that, just by one message. She had every right to block him after sending this message. Moving on. Okay, this is where he starts talking about me.
And the person she was defending was basically putting me in circles. Schedule meetings with me, canceling. You all get the picture. Ghosting. Just admit it. Okay, white supremacist. Here we go. Screen share. White supremacist, Tegan, Shakespeare Jones. This is another person who I don't know.
This is a small thing. Say my name fucking right, maybe.
Doesn't know me. Never met her. I only interacted with her once. And
So there's the first lie. I only interacted with her once. He has interacted with me on multiple occasions, like I've mentioned before, at least 3. And once again, he's saying that I don't know him, which also means that he doesn't know me. And it's a two-way street. If he's saying that I cannot say that I felt harassed, then he should not be able to say that I'm a racist. Okay, we'll see what he has to say about that. Sheesh.
And that was on her Twitch stream. And we was laughing on that same Twitch stream. So Twitch, they know she didn't take the Twitch down. Shakespeare Jones scheduled me for an art data meeting. And then basically it is what it is. Like, she's in Utah, a well-known racist state. And
as I've mentioned before, just because I live in Utah does not mean that I'm racist. Here's his evidence. You'll see. His evidence is I live in Utah and I didn't want to video chat with him. What evidence? What incredible evidence. So compelling.
This is what happened. Stop share. You all know the drill. You all cannot see my password. And it's unfortunate, like, they live like this. But one celebrity who I didn't think,
So he is logging in and logging out so that he can be able to both view my profile because it is blocked for him. But because he obviously has logged out specifically to view my profile, he should know that I haven't talked about him at all on like my regular Twitter. So he does dox my email in this video, which should have it removed from Facebook alone. However, Facebook personally will not let me report doxing. Facebook's the worst. I'm going to do my best to try and hide it in this video. Let me move myself here. I will put myself over here so that you can view this conversation here. But I will try my best to hide my own email address, which he decided that that's perfectly normal information to share with strangers on the internet. Once again, totally not, totally inappropriate. This whole thing, everything he does is fucking inappropriate, and there's no excuses for it, even if you seriously need some mental health. There's no excuses for it.
This is the weird part. I don't remember having a conversation with her in 2017. Um,
So like I mentioned before, I know you're watching this video, so you know what I said. But like I mentioned, he does not remember 2017. So a lot of the things that he says is going to be ridiculous because he doesn't remember. And I will show you those emails.
she sent me her email. So she started the conversation. She would love to hear from me.
As a reminder, I did not start the conversation. This was a response to a tweet that he had sent to me.
And then because I'm old school raised, so like I want to make sure the person is real on the other side, and I know guy pretending to be a woman or a woman pretending to be a guy. She said she didn't have a cell phone number, so that's always a red flag. Like, come on, everybody has a cell phone.
I will admit, in this, I did lie. I had a cell phone number. I am not going to fucking give my cell phone number to a random man on the internet. He honestly looks pretty old in his picture. From what I've heard, he's about 33 years old. And so I would think that he would understand basic internet etiquette, like not fucking asking for a stranger's phone number. Sure, I can understand confirming that this person is a real person, but fuck you. Like, that is not an appropriate thing to ask. It is not an appropriate thing to ask. And me saying that I don't have a cell phone number to protect myself, I think is perfectly reasonable.
Um, I replied to her email. She didn't respond. So like, here's the thing. So she reached out to me May 9th. I replied the next day. She replied. So May 9th, 2017, she hit me up. I replied May 10th, 2017. She replies back May 11th, 2017. I replied to her email May 12th. Did basically to let her know that I replied. And then May 14th, I called out her rude behavior because, like, hey, I replied to your email, but you didn't respond.
May 12th, he sends me not only an email, but he sends me a DM being like, "Hey, I sent you an email. Why aren't you responding? I sent you an email. Here's another message in case you didn't see it." And then 2 days later, I'm going to say, as someone who is a professional, someone who does send professional emails, in the industry, if you will, it is normal to not respond back within a few days. Usually people respond within a week. I would say that's pretty normal. Within 2 days, this motherfucker sends me not only this message being like, "That's very inconsiderate and rude. You didn't reply back to my email after I responded to yours." Not only did he send that in this message, he sent that to me in an email, which I'll show you once we're kind of done with this section. I'll show that to you. Which, I'm like, wow, you're gonna fucking insult me after 2 days and expect me to still want to work with you? No, 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 no. That's not going to work for me.
Why are you putting me in circles, basically? May 19th, I sent her an apology if there was like a misunderstanding. And then 2021, so the 2017 all the way to 2021.
Okay, so he basically skips over the email conversation that we had. So let me show you. 2017 emails. The first email he sends me, he once again asks me to chat on the phone and gives me his phone number like a fucking moron. I tell him that I am not comfortable giving out my phone number. He says, I only asked for number because of the way I was raised. Okay, I don't fucking care. I'm not going to talk to a stranger from the internet on the phone. And then the next day, he sends me another email asking like, "Hey, I'm awaiting for your reply from the reply that I sent to your previous email." which you saw he sent me a DM as well. To me, that is extremely overbearing. That is not a great sign that this person is going to be someone that I want to work with professionally. And to be honest, if I'm on a dating app and someone sends me messages over and over again, I'm going to stop responding to that person. And that's exactly what happened here. I didn't respond. 2 days later, he insults me. He says that I'm inconsiderate and rude because I didn't respond to him within 3 days, which is very normal in a professional setting to not respond in that amount of days. I tell him that I'm an extremely busy person. At that time, I was out of the country. I was living in London as a student, as a student full time, and I wasn't going to put up with that bullshit. And honestly, what I said, and I do still agree with this, is I have a lot of other things that I need to be doing, so please do not freak out if I take a couple days or even a couple of weeks to respond to an email. If you insult me after a couple of days, I doubt that I will be keen to reply at all. He apologized for the misunderstanding. You did not misunderstand. Like, you are being overbearing and you are going to continue to have this problem for the next 4 years, apparently. Like, you haven't learned any lesson from this exchange or apparently any other exchange you have had with anyone. No one is going to want to work with you professionally because you are incapable of communicating with them in a professional way. It is very clear to me, part of the pretense for emailing me in the first place was that he wanted to build up a team of writers, as he says here in this bottom email. And it is very clear to me that that's never really been the intention. He does not have the qualifications or the skill to build up a team of writers. And this is the way that he treats anyone that he tries to work with. And he never will have a team of writers. When I was first debating with myself if I should just go through with it and I should just video chat with him and see where it goes, I was worried that I might be missing out on some sort of grand connection, but it's not true. He's delusional. He is not in a position where he should be trying to communicate with anyone. Okay, cool.
2021, February 2nd was the day me and her was joking on her Twitch. She said, and she even confesses right here, she was confused. 2021, February 2nd was the day me and her was joking on her Twitch. She said, and she even confesses right here, she was confused. It was a misunderstanding on her part.
Was I confused? No, this is another protective lie. I was uncomfortable by his message before. I was uncomfortable by him continually wanting to talk on the phone, by him asking for my phone number in the first place, by him incessantly sending me messages. I was not confused. I was uncomfortable by the messages before. And as soon as I realized that this was the same man who had made me uncomfortable in 2017, all of those feelings just started rushing back again. So I do apologize for lying, but it's very clear that if I had been honest, that this all would have just happened pretty much the exact same way. Maybe a little faster. Maybe it just would have happened a little faster. You can also see, I'm sure you've noticed, but over here, you can see all of the women he's talked to. You both hate black people. Tiffany, I am tired of these racists, blah, blah, blah. Like, all of these different women. He's not trying to, this is not any men in this list of people that he's trying to connect with. And why is that? Because he wants to find control over women in his life. Anyways, continuing on with this.
She scheduled me for this Friday, which was going to be like, I think it was supposed to be like 6 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. her mountain time. She said she was nervous to come in chat with groups of people because I was going to make a group gathering on Zoom.
So here's where I attempted to maybe set some boundaries. I said, I'm a little nervous slash uncomfortable video chatting people I don't know. Also, I never said that I will. I said, okay, I'll try. I never fully committed to it because I was not I had weird vibes. I felt like this was off. I didn't feel like this was right. So I said I'll try to once again avoid some sort of psycho stalking me, and stating, hey, I'm a little nervous slash uncomfortable video chatting people I don't know, which I think is a very reasonable thing for people to say. In fact, I'm sure that's what pretty much everyone tells him who he asked to video chat with.
And then she posts on the 3rd something about double checking her schedule. Basically, a lie. This is a ghost now.
So this is what I especially want to defend. He says that I lied here. I did lie a couple other places to protect myself, but I did not fucking lie here. I am extremely busy. I have 3 or 4 different jobs I'm working on a weekly basis. I have my full-time job, which is constantly demanding overtime right now. I'm on doing Twitch, I'm doing YouTube, I'm writing a novel, I'm doing freelance writing, I'm trying to get into film. That is 6 things right there. I am a very busy person, and for you to say, oh, well, she lied about being busy, which he'll say multiple times from here, and I'm sure I'll still be mad about it. I did not fucking lie. I do not think that it would be great for me to put a 7th thing on my plate, even if you were some great professional, which you are not, by all of the evidence that I have just displayed for all of you today. I have a lot of things on my plate, and I don't want to spread myself too thinly. That is the fucking truth. I did not want to become some emotional baggage carrier for some psychopath who would turn on me on the tip of a hat the moment I didn't respond to a fucking Twitter DM. Like, fuck you, dude. I did not lie about not wanting to spread myself too thinly. I have enough emotional things to deal with on my own without dealing with your weird delusions as well.
Talking about her schedule being too thin. This is where it doesn't make sense. Like, for herself too thin. So I told her, that she wants to hear for my birthday, because I schedule a lot of Zoom meetings for my birthday. So I have some in-person Zoom meetings for my birthday.
No, I just told you that I will not be able to meet. I don't want to fucking Zoom with for your fucking birthday. I don't know you, dude. This is what I would have liked to say. This is what I would like to say to men. But no, I'm forced to protect myself by being polite because I don't want someone to show up to my house trying to murder me because I gave an honest answer. I just told him that I do not want to meet. I do not think I'll be able to meet. I tried to be polite. Okay?
Then she disappears, as you can see. Like, there's no need to ghost. Just say if you want a video chat or not. That's all.
There is no need to ghost. These 3 messages were sent on February 3rd. All 3 of them. Not responding to a person in one day is not the definition of ghosting. So weird. I didn't respond to you within what? He sent the first one at 3:30. Within 9 hours? I didn't respond in 9 hours. Sometimes I don't open Twitter. I don't get Twitter DM messages on my phone. Like, they don't show up as a notification. This is what we mean by harassment, Terrell. This is what we mean. You sending 3 messages in one day, calling it ghosting, and because you're so confused, when I asked can we schedule for March, you posted a post. You posted a post, but you didn't message me because you already fucking said that you don't want to meet with me. But I'm just trying to clear up any misunderstanding you might have. I did. I told you. I'm unable to meet. I already told you. Did my previous inbox go through? Fuck you. That is the kind of harassing message that we mean. This is exactly what we mean. You send one message. If they don't message you back, you take a clue.
And then I reached out to her because I noticed how the racism, the way she's like interacting with me compared to, because her community is like all white.
So, here he does say that I made a post on February 3rd. I want to see what that post was. Don't judge my Twitter. Let's see. February 3rd. February 3rd. I didn't make a tweet on February 3rd. Wait, did I respond to someone? Probably, right? I do respond a lot more than I tweet. No, I didn't even I didn't even retweet anything. I didn't do anything on the 3rd. There was no reason for this man to think that I had not seen that, I was just ignoring his message. You can see when people see your message in Twitter.
And then she gets mad, I would like not to meet. I'm very busy. Thank you. And then I'm trying to clear the air with her because I'm trying.
So I did the polite response, and then I did the strong no, right? The I don't think I'm able to meet versus the I am very busy. I would not like to meet. And then he says, this will not change my views on you. I will continue supporting you. He waits 3 days and then says 2021 and we're still dealing with racism. That's what happened today, Tegan. I think this must have been a response to something else. I don't think he was calling me racist at this point. It wasn't until he noticed that I tried to soft block him so that he could forget about me and stop sending me 4 messages in a row that I don't respond to because I don't. I can't. I can't. Yeah, I think that's what he was referencing in this bit here. Anyways, we go on.
Trying to see, okay, is she a racist or maybe she's just unsure about me? And then it's I got on her Twitch, in this case my Twitch, and I noticed there was a follow missing, and she wasn't on my Twitch anymore. And I clicked the follow button, but it said this person is not allowing you to follow. So she didn't block me, but she just not allowing me to follow. I'm like, wait a minute, this is weird. As you can all see, there was no arguments between me and her. No arguments, nothing. Joking with her on her Twitch. And then she says me calling her out her racism made her uncomfortable.
Yeah, no arguments, just him messaging me over and over and over when I repeatedly tried to say that I wasn't interested. It's not harassment, though. It's not. Just because it made me uncomfortable doesn't mean it's harassment. I'm a man.
She said I made her uncomfortable in the past, but where did I make her uncomfortable? Because if we zoom in.
I'm sure I don't need to repeat myself. I have told you, dear viewer, during each part where he made me uncomfortable. So I hope I don't need to tell you again. Just because he's a moron, I expect you not to be.
So this is it right here. Where's the uncomfortable? There's no uncomfortable going on. So read it. And there's the huge gap right there. 2017, 2021. There's nothing uncomfortable.
Here's the huge gap that I've already said that I don't remember. It can't possibly be that I made her uncomfortable in the time that I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm fully into mocking territory now. I went into everything else before this, and now I think I'm fully allowed to be pissed off. I think that's reasonable.
She gave me her email. I emailed her. She said she didn't have a phone, which she lied about. Just say you don't have a phone.
Who fucking asked for a phone number? Okay, sorry, I've already gone into this. I don't need to go into it again. You don't ask for strangers for your phone number. That makes them uncomfortable, dingus.
But like, there's no attacks. Like, I don't attack people. I'm waiting your reply, which I said.
Okay, harassment is not an attack. Right? Like I said, harassment can be one unwanted message. Like the Chell lady said, which is right here, clearly. You can't see it. I'm covering it. Like the Chell lady said, she felt harassed by that one message. And I think you have to be aware that sending people unwanted messages, especially unwanted requests to video call them, is harassing them. It's making them uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be an attack. You don't have to send them a message saying you're ugly or fat or whatever, right? It doesn't have to be that. You can send a message being like, you're the most beautiful goddess I've ever seen, and they can feel extremely uncomfortable by that and consider it to be harassment and ask you to stop. And you then as a person can say, okay, I understand that I made them uncomfortable, and so I'm going to stop. Or you can be this guy.
That was to give it a heads up that I replied to her email, and then she ghosted after the 12th. And then I apologized for any misunderstandings I might have had. And that was it. May 19, 2017. And then the February 2nd, 2021 is when we was joking on her Twitch. And she even admitted she was confused.
She even admitted, because I couldn't possibly have any other reasoning behind the words that I choose to say.
She was going to schedule me for Friday. She's in Mountain Time. And then I was going to do the group gathering. And then she says, nervous in front of Chinese people. And everybody knows I don't want people to feel nervous, like in front of people.
I don't want them to feel nervous, but I will continue to push them to video chat with me anyways. But I don't want them to feel nervous. I don't want them to. Notice that he skips over the word that I used, the word uncomfortable, and he says that I was nervous. No, I was uncomfortable, and I said nervous to try and make you feel better. Because this suggestion was making me uncomfortable. And I was trying to get over that to make you feel better, to put you on a pedestal. But then it occurred to me that I don't have to do that, right? I don't have to sacrifice myself for other people. That has been my own journey. It has been my own journey to figure out how to not sacrifice myself for the benefit of others. Because I used to do that all the time online. I would do whatever the fuck men asked me to do, for the most part, because I was too nervous of hurting their feelings. I didn't want to hurt their feelings if I told them no to their creepy requests. So I'm going to answer their questions. No, I'm done. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not 17. Hell, I'm not, 4 years ago? I'm not 23. I'm smarter than that. I respect myself more now.
I'm a team person. And then here comes the shade. And then I asked her if she wants to schedule on my birthday, which I just mentioned, I'm scheduling meetings with people that day. And then I asked if my inbox went through. That was out of politeness to see if she received it.
Messaging someone multiple times to see if they received your message is not polite. It's rude. And it's harassment when they don't want you to message them. Weird how that works.
And then I was puzzled by her inbox. I'm just puzzled by her inbox. I'm not mad at her or nothing. Told her about the racism I've been dealing with. She didn't say nothing to that. That was a red flag right there.
You can't see, but every time he scrolls down, he just keeps revealing more and more women that he's been messaging. There are men on Twitter too, There's plenty of great, talented, artistic men that you can contact on Twitter. Weird.
That's when I got on the Twitch yesterday because I was checking my Twitch and noticed that my follow towards her was in there. And then she spreads the lie. I made her uncomfortable. People, you all just saw that there was nothing uncomfortable. And then she got mad because I called her out on her white supremacy. Okay.
I did not get mad because he called me out. I got upset because he told a lie about me. He told multiple lies about me just right here. That is why I got mad. It's so inappropriate. It's so bad. I would have, honestly, if he had never, I probably would have never told my friends about this whole thing. I would have kept it to myself because I don't want to bother people with this kind of bullshit. So after he did this, I already showed you the tweet that he made. Let me show you the emails he sent me. So after all of that, and I blocked him, and told him to leave me alone. He obviously did not, which once again was him clearly not following the wishes that I had and continuing to break those boundaries that I was trying to lay. This is clearly after I blocked him and I asked him to not contact me anymore because he made me uncomfortable. He sent me this email. I'm really putting everything together now. You took me off your follow from Twitch. No shit. You've been disrespectful to me from day one. No, you have been creepy from day one. You live in Utah, a racist hotspot. What's the only thing? You hate black people. No evidence for that. Not putting up with it anymore, Tegan. I literally blocked you and asked you to not contact me again. So clearly you would like to keep putting up with it. And then he sent this other one. It's like, you will be tagged in a list of racist individuals today. I will have non-racist celebrities tagged so they can share. None of the celebrities he tags ever shares anything. They never share anything that they're tagged in. You disgusting white supremacist / terrorist. This is before my friends came to my defense as well. So I really don't know where the terrorist is coming from, considering all I had done at this point was ask him to leave me alone, which he is clearly incapable of doing. It's my skin that makes you uncomfortable. No, it's your behavior, as I have outlined. So after all of this has happened, I kind of expected it to blow over, which it obviously did not, because he dragged some other people into it. And that's kind of when I think shit really started to hit the fan for Terrell. One of the people he had constantly tagged in things is an actor named Vincent D'Onofrio. Now, to be fair, I don't know what their relationship was before. I believe he most likely had replied to a lot of his tweets, and Vincent had said, hey, cool man thing. But he obviously had been including him in a lot of the tweets, especially in this battle. I want to go through and discuss the DMs that Vincent had sent Terrell. It is not my place to share other people's direct messages, so I'm just gonna kind of go through and paraphrase, because Terrell did post these messages for everyone to see in his video that he made, the same one that I showed you. But essentially what happened is, in the conversation, Vincent said, hey, I want you to stop tagging me. I need you to stop doing this. Leave me out of it. Delete the tweets you've said about this woman, who he would then specify was my friend Amelia. He said you need to delete those tweets and you need to stop tagging me in it. And Terrell did his basic bullshit, like, I'm so sorry if I have offended you. And Vincent very clearly said, do not reply to this. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Goodbye. So, of course, Terrell, being Terrell, then went ahead and ignored those requests and sent a very long list of things that he thought. And Vincent said, no, I'm done. Stop doing this. Goodbye. And didn't respond to him. Now, I know Vincent blocked him, but I don't know if it was before or after what was to come next. In this message conversation, Terrell said things like, I know you aren't a racist. You're a hero and role model to me. Clearly that changed because then Terrell turned around and made a tweet calling Vincent a white supremacist now, of course, and of course making that 26-minute long video, which included me, other people, and Vincent's private messages. So at some point, Vincent decided enough is enough. He blocked Terrell, and he sent several tweets out requesting that everyone else block and report both his Twitter and the Facebook video that he had posted. Those tweets have since been deleted. Let me show you. So I sent this response to the tweets he had made calling him out, and as you can see, they have been deleted by the tweet author, which I understand. It seems like Vincent is the kind of guy who, he tweets a lot of poetry, things like that, so I'm sure he didn't want that really negative vibe messing everything up. So what we know for sure is that both his Twitter and the Facebook video have been reported multiple times at this point. Neither of them have been taken down. All of that information is still out there for anyone who wants to find it. I love being ducks a lot. So much fun. But what's the takeaway here? Ultimately, this is someone who needs help. This is someone who deserves empathy and to be heard. But this is also behavior that should not be tolerated. This is not something that is excusable. And this is something that should not be allowed to continue. I'm really hoping that his Twitter does get taken down because, number one, he shouldn't be allowed to continue to treat people like this. Number two, this is a coping method for him. It's just making him feel heard and making him feel like he has more control than he does. And I think if that were to be taken away, he might take it as a sign that he's supposed to actually get some real help. So that's all I wanted to say for today. I know this video was probably crappy quality. Yeah, I'm sure it was kind of rambly, and I'm sure that I said something wrong at some point. But ultimately, I couldn't stand by and let someone call me a liar and call me a racist without saying something. And also sharing a little bit of tea with y'all. I'm going to keep posting my normal content, my normal stream highlights, as well as I have some other videos that I've been working on. So I hope you stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for your support. Please, if you feel like you have felt that same neglect and that powerlessness, please talk to someone, talk to a professional, work with them, because they can give you the tools to gain control in your life and just continue to help you be a good person and have an enjoyable existence with both me and everyone else in the world. I do hope y'all have a really wonderful day, and I would love if you have any resources for me to learn more. Please share below. I hope I didn't forget anything because I really don't want to film this again. Okay, y'all. Have a good one. Bye. Toodaloo. This is awkward. It's always awkward.